want to be under the bright lights. I want to be on the Broadway stage.
Tiger Rag Radio is on now.
We're back here on Tiger Rag Radio. Jeff Palermo along with Glenn Gilbo and Todd Horn of Tiger Rag. And joining us now on the Max Home Hotline, Eric Asher, a longtime talk show host in New Orleans. He currently hosts Inside New Orleans Monday through Friday on 106.1 FM. Eric, thanks a lot for joining us. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. How is
Merry Christmas, guys.
Yeah, great hearing from you. It's been a while. I guess, first of all, Eric, your take on the 2024 LSU football season.
Well, I guess my take is, a tale of two seasons, right? They start off really slow, kind of unprepared for USC. They roll through with again, a huge winning streak, and then they get into that 3-week period, second half of the AMM game, Alabama, Florida, where they're unable to stop the running quarterback. We're able to contain the running quarterback, and that pretty much was the tail of the tape of the season. They bounced back, after that. But again, for a LSU fan base and an LSU team that was looking to possibly be in the college football playoff, maybe again win 10 games. Again, you have to say it's disappointing.
What do you think of Brian Kelly so far after 3 years? I mean, do you think he's under the gun immediately next season, or how much is that huge contract going to weigh in? What do you think of BK's future?
Well, again, I think that things have changed when it comes to college football and college athletics. And I think that Brian Kelly, following Ed Orgeron, was the perfect choice because, again, much like Nick Saban was when he came to LSU, he's a foundation builder. Now, that takes time. Obviously, again, 39 scholarships his first year here, trying to rebuild the program, winning 10 games in his first 2 years. He did a fantastic job. But things have changed now. The transfer portal, NIL. Again, you have to be able to adjust to that. And again, the question is, can Kelly do that? Obviously next year, I think he's still here. I mean, the contract is a tough buyout, and of course that helps him. I think the days of the 10-year contracts for coaches are over now with the new system. But again, I think he has to prove that in this new era of college football that again he can adjust to what you have to do now. Where again, which you're re-recruiting your players on a day-in day-out basis, you have to worry about the transfer portal. Now you have to worry about money that's going to be collected for NIL. How are you going to divvy that money up? It's a completely different situation than what Kelly has done throughout his career. So again, I think that when you look at it right now, I think it's an unknown on whether he can adjust long term or not.
Speaking of Kelly and his adjustments or his need to adjust, do you believe that he is the right? I mean, it sounds like you do, but do you believe he's the right fit? Because when he first came here, there was a question about him being a fit, and he seems to have had some problems adjusting to the culture.
Again, I think a lot of folks down in Louisiana, we want a Southern coach. We want someone with Louisiana type. I never had an issue with, again, the accent, him being from the North, etc.
Which accent? Which accent?
Right, exactly. But again, I think when you look at where they are now, I think it's still up in the air for Kelly. I really do. I think that again, I think he's adjusting, but I think it's a constant adjustment, and I think he's still in the process of trying to win the fan base over. Obviously, again, it's a difficult situation now with the SEC. I mean, the SEC is cannibalizing each other. Again, right now, what would used to be maybe a one-loss league is a two-loss league. And can he make that adjustment? So, again, I think right now, when you look at where Kelly is, he's still in transition.
Hi, I'm Mike Munderland, and we're here to smash the capital city's trash.
Smash My Trash is a revolutionary compactor for large dumpsters, sometimes reducing the volume of waste by up to 70%. This means fewer hauls per month and big savings for your business. Fewer hauls and compacted waste will also result in a positive impact on our community and our environment by taking up less space in our local landfill sites. Schedule your company's free demo today. Call 225-497-0101.
Trains are everywhere. You should always expect one, even on private property. Only cross tracks at designated crossings that fit your equipment. If you don't fit, don't commit. Look, listen, live.
Eric, LSU fans are LSU fans, but from a guy who's in New Orleans, you talk to people in New Orleans all the time, professionally and friends and socially. What were you hearing? What was the main thing you heard in the city about LSU and Kelly as the season wore on?
Well, I think people were very disappointed, again, in the fact that a couple of things. First of all, LSU had no running game. LSU has been known for a running game. They've always been great SEC backs at LSU. The inability to run the football. Again, I don't think he got the most out of his team. I think most people in New Orleans felt that way. I mean, again, when you walk in with what's supposed to be, again, the best line in the SEC, maybe the best offensive line in the country, and they are inconsistent. The inability to be ready for that first game, which is, again, has been a real issue for Kelly. You want to go into these big money games, you want to showcase your program, but you're walking away with L's. I think, again, a lot of people in New Orleans are frustrated by, again, what's going on. But again, at this point, I think with every program, you have to be able to take a hard look at, again, what you're doing, how your coach has adjusted to the new system, and ultimately, again, if he has the ability not just to recruit his players, but to hold on to his players in this new era.
Eric, so just to sort of piggyback off of what Glenn just asked, when you're talking to the people around New Orleans, all the professionals, was there a sense that Kelly just doesn't really understand his team, because he seems to constantly be making hyper judgments about them and statements about them heading into certain games, and then it backfires on him?
Well, I do think that, again, that when you look at the way he relates to his players, from what we can see on the field, right? Okay, I think that there's a real difference in maybe, again, what we saw the way Orgeron did it, maybe the way others have done it. Again, I think his style is his style. And the question is, again, and I go back to what I've said throughout this conversation, he's got to prove that, again, that he can morph into what a coach has to do to be able to get a team ready, keep a team ready throughout the season, and be able to win in this new era of college football. And I think that right now, that's still up in the air. And so ultimately, I think next year is going to be a defining year for him. Especially, again, when you start looking at the loss in the transfer portal, what he's bringing in now. But, again, I think Kelly is Kelly, and ultimately he's going to have to figure out, again, if this era of college football is something that at his age he wants to do, and that, again, that he can compete.
Do you get the sense, though, Eric, that he's looking forward to the challenge? He never seems just tired or exasperated at the situation. He's frustrated for sure. I think it has not gone as smoothly as he thought it would, and I do think he always lays out a plan. The problem is executing the plan has been his biggest issue.
Well, again, I think he's a CEO type coach. And I think there's a plan there, but I think in a lot of cases, again, when things go south in the season, you have to be able to adjust. I will say this: I think he's learned a lot from his first 2 years at LSU in terms of what he needs in a coaching staff. I think when he came to LSU, he had a coaching staff that I think that was more on a teaching coaching staff, and I think he realized that he needs recruiters as well. And I think he's made that adjustment, and I think we've seen, again, the dividends of that. But again, I think at times, again, it looks like maybe he's not as focused on the program as maybe he should be. And I think, again, rumors about not being as focused in the offseason as he should be have swirled around for a long time. So again, I think, again, that once again, this is on Brian Kelly, a guy that has been kind of stuck in his ways for his career, to be able to make the changes that are necessary to be able to coach in today's game. And I don't know if he's there yet.
I tell you, Jeff, good point. I think this portal that Kelly was able to close so fast with, I think that's rejuvenated him. I mean, he's like Santa Claus. I mean, every time he goes into the stocking, I mean, he only wanted 12. He had 10 by last week, and I think he might even go over 12. But speaking of Christmas, Eric, have a Merry Christmas. Thanks for joining us.
Appreciate being with you guys. Thanks so much. Merry Christmas to each and every one of you.
It's time to start betting on yourself. Louisiana 988 can help if you're dealing with tough emotions caused by gambling habits. You can share as much or as little as you want, and it's completely confidential. It's free, available 24/7, and most people who reach out report feeling better right in the moment. Call or text 988 anytime.
Season's readings. Yes, readings from your friends with the East Baton Rouge Parish Library. Ring in the holidays with movies shown from the plaza of the library on Goodwood. Crafts galore. Please come and browse. And what would the holidays be without music? Your East Baton Rouge Parish Library will feature several concerts with unique artists. To get the full calendar of events, go to ebrpl.com. The East Baton Rouge Parish Library.